And you're from where?
From New York.
New York. Me too.
Amazing. Solidarity.
Yo, yo, yo. You and 28 million other people.
Yeah, exactly.
And what brings you to this part of the world today? Central Park West.
I'm in school. I'm in law school.
Law school.
Yeah. And I've been procrastinating a lot this month.
Okay, well, I'm glad I could give you another 15 minutes to
So,
procrastinate.
yeah, exactly. And I'm coming from the library.
Okay, good. Well, this is only 15 minutes. You'll make it.
Amazing.
And are your parents lawyers?
No.
No. Okay. So you'd be the first lawyer in the family.
I'd be the second lawyer.
Your sibling
My
is a lawyer?
dad's,
Oh.
well, I guess, like, depending on how you define family, my dad's brother is a lawyer.
That's sort of family.
Sort of. Maybe it counts.
Yeah, it just counts a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. And you grew up here in the city.
Yeah. I grew up in Westchester, actually.
That's the same thing.
Same thing.
Just more greenery up there,
yeah.
right? You get cred. Did you come down to the city as a teenager and go to clubs and stuff?
I didn't go to clubs as a teenager, but I did come into the city a lot as a teenager.
What would you do when you came into the city a lot?
My friends and I would just go around the city. Like we'd go to restaurants or we'd
Right.
go to parks and just hang out.
Right.
There just wasn't I don't know. I wasn't in high school. I was like, I'm gonna go to clubs later. Like I don't need to go to clubs now. So the city was more for just getting out of
Westchester
and not being around our parents and not having to be home by a certain. You know what I mean? Like we could just come and stroll around and do whatever we
Yeah,
wanted.
do it how you want.
Exactly.
I have a 12-year-old son, so this is actually helpful information.
Okay, good.
He's not quite at that age yet, but he's soon.
Yeah, in a few years.
In a few years,
Make
he'll
sure
just
it's
wander. Just leave me alone, Dad.
Yeah, or not. Maybe not.
No, he doesn't like to hang out with me anyhow.
Oh, really? Okay.
So where you got law school?
Sorry?
Where are you at law school?
I'm at Fordham.
Oh, nice. That makes sense because it's close by.
Close by. I'm in my second year, so.
Second of three? I don't know. Okay.
Second of 3.
Do you have a desire for what kind of law you're going to do?
Not really. I'm kind of going down the corporate route. I have
where the
two
money is.
reasons why I wanted to go to law school. One was I just love studying the law, and I think I was always a history person, and history informs every aspect of the law, and every case that comes out, every case we read for school has some historical context that it's in that's completely affecting how the judgment kind of comes out.
Plessy versus Ferguson, and those sort of things.
Exactly. Even in my corporations class, there are some cases where we've read where you don't get why a CEO or a board, the head of the board of directors or something, did something until you, look at the historical context and you're like, oh, they were trying to avoid, trust busting, or they were trying to avoid, McCarthyism or whatever it was. So, I think that just, fuels my interest in the law, and because I kind of come from, a more wide, because my interest is more broad, I feel like I can find that I end up finding that I'm curious in a lot of different aspects of the law, and the best way to kind of explore at least one sector was to just go down the corporate route and go to a firm where I can kind of try everything and then go from there. But
have you done that?
Well, so that's where I'm going to be working next summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you do your first summer after law school? Did you intern?
Yeah, I interned at the district attorney's office in Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn, really?
Yeah.
You know Michelle Kaminsky?
No.
She was the head of the domestic violence department.
Oh, really? Currently? I might have met her, actually.
Yeah. Very nice woman.
Yeah. I mean, the office was great. I was in the investigations division, so I got to really interact with a lot of people who would, they were, pretty senior people who were, 10, 15, 30 years into their careers. So, they'd had just, a wealth of experiences that brought them where they were. I definitely don't want to be a prosecutor, but it was an interesting experience. It forced me to push back on a lot of my assumptions, and also I think it also gave me a lot of new ground on which to critique existing systems as well, which I think is important. We'll only get better if we're constantly looking at the ways that we can improve and what we're doing.
We'll only get better if we what?
If we look at the ways that we can improve and where our faults are right now, I think anyone who says that like any office in the city is operating perfectly already like is wrong and will only set themselves up for failure, you know. But it was a cool summer.
Good, great.
How about you? What do you do?
I
outside of
design
this?
exhibitions for a history museum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what kind of history museum? Like
The one right up at the New York Historical Society.
I was just looking at that museum. Should I go?
You should go to the Salem Witch Trials. It opens October 7th. That's going to be a fun exhibit.
I was just looking on their website, on your website. Like,
It's not mine, it's
not
theirs.
yours. There, sorry. Well, yours by
I'm just a
extension.
design. Yeah, exactly.
But to go, because I haven't
There you go. Now here's
done
your reason.
fun things
Here's
in a
your
year, so
reason.
now I gotta go do some fun things, you know.
Drop me a line. I'll get you in. I'll get you in for free.
Wait, oh, email you? Okay.
You can email me or you can send me on
Okay, awesome.
Instagram. Speaking of money, do you? I'm not looking for money. Are you going to be heavily in debt when you finish?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. That's great. So then you don't have to,
I'm in like a very lucky position. So,
right. So you don't have to like do the corporate route if you don't want to. You do 2-3 years. You can say,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
going to do pro bono, public interest law.
Well, I think also it's like I'm very lucky that like I don't have to worry about how to pay for law school, but I certainly will have to pay for everything else after that. You know?
Yeah, like life.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
pay for all your seamless orders and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I didn't have to.
Good.
But I think at the same time, there's an element of it that also like, I think what's also important to me is just like, I don't know if this sounds bad, but like generations of white men have got to go down the corporate route without having to question why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to question why I'm doing it, but I also don't want to not do it just because I think that I don't know.
You've got the
want-
power.
Kind of, right? Like
why not?
I think representation is important, and I think like even though ultimately like a lot of law firms do a lot of really bad things, and so will mine probably, and like that's okay.
You've already got your law firm clicked out, or like the one you're going to make?
Well, I already have an offer there.
No,
so-
no, I mean in terms of like you're
Oh,
going to
I'm not
restart
gonna-
your own law.
I don't know if I want to start my own law firm. I guess we'll see. I feel like I'd have to find like a particular motivation to do it. Because that's the problem.
Badass.
That I'm not like, oh, I love immigration and I really want to do immigration law. Like I don't have like that kind of.
There are people who do that.
Get it, yeah. But I want to find that. So I think
Okay.
my goal is to find that niche that I'm
Right.
interested in, wherever that is.
Well, I'm guessing you're what, like 25? Yeah, so you got plenty of time.
Okay, that's really interesting that you guessed that because a lot of people think I'm really young. But I guess you know that
Well, I
I'm
mean, you're
in
in
law
law
school, so you
school,
had
so I
that
figured
to
you didn't
adjust
grad,
based off
yeah.
of. But a lot of people are like, are you 17? I'm like,
I
how do I
would-
look
yeah.
17? Do
Yeah.
I look 17?
You've got a very innocent looking face.
Really?
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not making you look older than that.
No, it's okay.
Making it
That's
look-
exactly what I get. I feel like I took it as an insult for so long, but it's not an insult. To be called said that I look told it.
Just look at me for 1 second so I can look at how your eyes are. You're brown. So I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to answer it. What do your parents do?
My parents are doctors.
Doctors.
Yeah.
Swing. That's great. What kind of doctors? Any specialties?
They
Yeah,
are no, they're not specialists. They're both GPs. They both went to medical school in Pakistan. And then,
Pakistan.
Yeah, and then immigrated here.
Lahore or
My mom
Islamabad?
grew up in Lahore.
Oh yeah.
My dad grew up like 2 hours north of Lahore, near a city called Sialkot, which is still a big like manufacturing industrial city.
I've never been to Pakistan, but I'd like to.
You should go.
I've been to India a lot. Everyone says that you gotta have like a guard with you to go to Pakistan.
You don't.
I guess it's those Indians slandering the
I
Pakistanis.
think it's just like I get the fear, but it's like no, you need a friend probably. Like it would help if you had a friend that could show you around, house you a little bit, tell you where to go.
But what about? I mean, like I can understand like a woman. Like my women friends who went to India were nervous about it,
About going.
and with reason, because you know.
No, I mean I think there's fair reason to be concerned, but with some smart decision making, like you don't have to worry about it as much.
Don't wear a big American flag on your
Yeah, like don't
t-shirt.
exactly. Don't like try to stand out. But that's like true for anywhere you travel, right? Like
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Some places it's okay to stand out. like in Vietnam, people will come up to you and try to practice their English with you. It's kind of fun.
That's cool.
So you've been to Pakistan then before? Yeah. You like it?
My whole family's there basically, so it's
I saw a great exhibit, Saja Shikandur, at the Morgan Library. It was great. She's a Pakistani. She was trained as a miniaturist, and then she came to America, and she's doing these great sort of like cross-cultural. I'm just blabbing.
It's great. That's great.
Who is this guy?
Okay, let's keep moving.
very good, very long neck. So have you had formal training?
I went to architecture school,
Oh, really?
during which they trained us to do. We drawing was part of our curriculum,
Yeah.
hand drawing. And so, but I also tried to take as many courses as I could in the art school, like I made films and things like that. So this is sort of a natural extension of that.
Yeah.
I mean, not film, but like just trying to make art.
Do you prefer like the iPad over hand drawing, or is it a set of convenience?
The latter.
Makes sense.
I mean, it's growing on me,
Yeah.
but it's
I feel like
all
once
about
you can
convenience.
figure out like how to get the settings to work with your own
Exactly.
kind of
Exactly.
work and style, then
It's a medium, just like any other.
yeah, exactly.
Printmaking, drawing.
I really want to get into printmaking.
Well,
I have some experience with it, like just from school and
uh-huh.
like in college, kind of trying it out sometimes, like when people had stuff to do it. But like I haven't really done it ever, and I really want to. But I don't know where to go in the city to try.
SVA.
SVA.
I've taken printmaking classes at SVA.
Where's that?
SVA is on 23rd Street on the east side. SVA, you see ads for it all over the place.
Oh,
Art is.
gotcha. What does it stand for? What does SVA stand for?
Oh, School of Visual Arts.
Okay, that makes sense.
Surrey. Forgot. Yeah, they have continuing ed classes that you can take printmaking in. I'm a big fan of etching myself. I like to etch. I'd like to do more etching. But again, it's just
Didn't they have screen printing there too?
you could do screen printing. Yeah, you could do screen printing anywhere really.
Yeah, that's true.
Not anywhere. I mean, if you want to do like litho and etching, you need to have like a lab. But
Yeah.
screen printing is pretty straightforward. You can
Yeah.
even do that in, like,
You can do that at home,
in your
right?
backyard.
Yeah.
So you have siblings?
Yes, I have 2 younger siblings.
Nice. So where in Westchester are you?
We're from Scarsdale.
Scarsdale. Okay. Well, I've never been to Scarsdale. It has a reputation.
It has a reputation.
I don't know if it has a reputation. It has a name.
It has a reputation and a name. That's both.
Is it well founded? The reputation?
Yeah, it's tough. It's different now than it was when I was growing up. My brothers and sisters' experiences. My sister just started college, so they're both like my brother's in high school. So their experiences have been very different than what mine was like, and mine is probably very different from anyone who is like 5 years older than me.
Right.
And it's changing, I think, for the better in that it's getting a lot more diverse, and I think that diversity is pushing is actually leading to a lot more like social openness amongst kids in Scarsdale. Like I think when I was growing up, it felt very like
You're either white or whatever it is.
it just like as a minority in Scarsdale, like I got to know my friends, but there were so many like I'm not Jewish, so I didn't have the
Oh.
benefit of being kind of like going to like Hebrew school with my friends or whatever, and like meeting people that way. So my parents. It was. I don't want to say at all that it was like segregated. I very much had friends across the board everywhere, but I think now because
Tribes
there's just
run together.
more, kind of. I mean that makes sense, right? Like it's your community, and so
Right.
you stay within your community, and like that. That's not like surprising to me, but it was more like the effect that it ended up having on like the student body was that students were really cliquey because your friendships were determined by like who your parents were friends with and who you were exposed to growing up, you know. And so I think like moving into a town like that, it was really hard. But it's different now. Like my mom's experiences when I was in elementary school with like trying to like organize play dates for me, for example, was very different than like when my brother and sister were in elementary school.
Huh, interesting.
So I think there's like an open-mindedness that is adopted now that wasn't there then. But I don't know. We also like I think notice like the way that racism pervades in ways now like that we weren't really maybe we weren't talking about I think when I was growing up.
Right.
Like for 10 years there we thought that race wasn't a problem anymore. And that
Who
was
said
when
that?
I grew up.
I mean, the whole
No one-
post-racial thing after
Yeah.
Obama was elected?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, when
right.
he was elected. Like that was he was elected when I was in 5th grade and I grew up during his presidency, so like that, you know.
Yeah. But then Trump got elected.
And then we were having a lot of really interesting conversations, and people really started speaking out about like, oh, I'm a mom on the PTA, I'm black, and people literally did not include me in committees, or like I would have to try, like just like the stupid stories of people being cliquey, and it be and like it just that stuff has an effect, you know, it has an impact. But anyway,
All right.
is the reputation well founded? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Whatever. Did you go to public school or private school?
I was public school.
Good, because they have good public schools up there, right?
Yes. Yes. That's the draw.
Yeah. I sent my kid to a private school in New Jersey, and he got a scholarship. His mom helped him get a scholarship, and I'm a little nervous about his friends having a lot of money,
Yeah.
and we don't. Thus, why I'm out here drawn on the streets. I'm not trying to make money. I'm just